live from beautiful Made in Ohio on Bridge Street in Ashtabula, Ohio. Sorry, a couple technical difficulties there, and working through it. Hopefully we kind of changed a few things up. Never-ending process here at 440 Goal, always trying something new. But I think we got it. I think we're rolling. We'll find out. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in tonight. Should be an interesting night. It was kind of a short week for us. We did cover the Westside Shootout this weekend, or last weekend, I should say. And then everyone had the 4th of July fun holiday. Huh? Yeah, a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Just like they do on one of my favorite talk shows in the morning, little background music, and then it slowly come off.
Yeah, it's still super loud, is what they're saying.
Who said that?
Got a text message.
Come on.
I'm just telling you, quality control
Come
measures.
on. Here we go. Anyways, well, I turned it down, turned it off. We should be good now. We'll find out. But thanks again, everyone, for tuning in. I'm Ryan, and with my partner over here, the voice of 440 Goal, Sam Torres, and we're going to be rocking and rolling, having a lot of fun tonight, hopefully, and shoot into it. How was your weekend, Sam?
You know what? It was good. A nice holiday weekend. We capped it off. We got some really great coverage over there at the old site of West Junior High as we were at the courts for the shootout. We were there from about 10 a.m. to close to 5 or a little bit more than after 5, but it didn't seem like a long day because there was so much fun covering. Got to see some really phenomenal basketball get played out there, so that was fun. Then we got to meet up later for the newly legalized fireworks in Ohio.
Yeah, that is correct. I forgot about that. Yeah.
that was a pretty good fun night. And then we went and did some camping out at Jeffco Lakes Campground, which was that was a blast in itself as well.
Not yet a sponsor.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll work on it, right?
One day maybe.
Yeah, but my weekend was pretty good. I spent it basically with you, right?
Right. Yeah. So there wasn't much. I mean, we hung out all day Saturday and Sunday. There wasn't really much going on. I got to chill out. Well, I say chill out. Had some friends and family stop by, and then Monday was finally the chill out day in reverse. But I am happily now checked out from work, on vacation.
Yes, sir.
Taking off next week to an undisclosed location in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. Not really, but we are taking off. Family, gonna go have a good time out east, I should say.
Enjoy your time at the Krusty Krab.
Right.
Yeah, it was fun. We're getting ready to get some, because Ryan's not going to be here next week, obviously. He's taking a vacation. We're not going to run a live show next week, but we are going to have content next week, and it's not going to be just one day of content. It's going to be 5 days of content, and we're actually going to talk about that a little bit later in the show. It's something that I think you should probably mark down on your calendars because this is going to be appointment-type viewing.
Right.
Again, we'll get into it a little bit later in the show, but I think we should talk some shootout now.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, second year that I've attended the shootout, I even had the privilege and honor of my mother awkwardly showing up down there behind the fence and having a good time. She loved it. She told me I think it was today, she won't miss it next year. She will be there for it, and I told her, grab her seat. She can sit right in the shade with us. But that was that shootout to me, it was kind of the wily old vets versus the young guns running in there, and the Tomcats. Kudos to them because those guys hung in there all. They had to go the hard way too because they had the loss in that game, but they did a great job into the end. But as everyone knows, Simon Law Office did take home the championship, but a lot of dunking.
Yeah, they had some good dunks. Tomcats actually loses in the semifinal. It was Max's Bar and Grill that actually they played in the championship.
Right.
Max's Bar and Grill was actually the sponsor of. There's a Cleveland team that comes out here every year with a really phenomenal basketball player by the name of Lefty May. He is joined by a couple other guys, Jeremy Moore. I've got the names I don't have in front of me, but these are guys that have been coming here from Cleveland for years. They've won the shootout a couple times. They come out here. They always have a great showing. And they went up against what I guess you could call Goliath, and who the champion was this year, with Marcus Ernst. So Simon's Law Firm ends up being the actual champion this year with Marcus Ernst, Brandon Ford.
Bring up the image for everybody. Or images. Oh, maybe if I hit the right button. Hold tight.
There we go.
Give it a
so the winning team this year, MVP is going to be Marcus Ernst. Marcus Ernst, Brandon Ford, Sion Howell, Ty Rude, Cody Blizzard, and Kyron Jones. Kyron Jones actually becoming a champion twice this weekend, as he won the three-point contest as well with a total of 30 shots. Knocks down 30 out of 50 this year, which is just outstanding. Now, last year, the winner was Brandon Ford, who hit 31 out of 50. So I can tell you, if you're not hitting over 28, 29 shots,
stay home.
Yeah, you ain't got a shot at it, man, like for real. And then
the hardest part's that double rim, but go ahead, I'm sorry.
Yeah, and then also want to send a big shout-out to the junior high champions. They had a junior high outdoor basketball tournament this year. They had about 15, 20 kids out there playing. And the winners this year, Jamero Spikes Jr., Theron Osborne, Omarion Osborne, Javon Peoples, and Malachi Vance. It was a double game. They actually win from the winners bracket. But they lost their first one. Had to play them twice.
Kyron give you a little asterisk.
Hey, Kyron. Listen, and if you want to see, there's some great interviews out there. We've got some great interviews on this year's. The full coverage is there.
Yep.
All 8 hours or however many hours it is or 5 hours. It's on YouTube right now. What you can look forward to. We do have a high quality video that is saved. We're going to get that. We're going to chop it up, and we're going to put it into a playlist. So you'll be able to choose matchups, look at interviews, pick and choose which part of the shootout you want to watch. That's going to be available only here at 440 and Goal.
Yeah. But it was fun to watch. I mean, the rain. We didn't even get to see the end of the rain or the 3-point contest because we got rained out Friday night, and then they finished it up Saturday morning. We didn't even know it was happening.
Right, and then Kyron came out early on Saturday and made it rain again.
Yeah, we got there, and the first thing he said was, "When do I get my interview?" That's the first thing he said. He came and found me.
Listen, I got to give him a shout out too because Kyron. It's weird for me to say that he took on the veteran status on that team because he's a couple years younger than
yeah, but
But he goes out there as the veteran on this team of a bunch of young guys that can flat out ball.
Yes.
But makes his presence known. He hits like 8 back-to-back points in the championship.
He won. I mean, he the dagger into the coffin happened because of him.
Yeah,
I kept letting him go. You said don't leave the man alone. That's 32. Well, 30.
He's 32 out of 50.
32. Yeah.
Well, not only that, so he's hitting 3-point shots, but then he pulls one out of the bag. And gives him a quick crossover to the rim underneath.
Right.
Finishes with the nice, graceful. I'm like, man, there's no way. Like, you shouldn't be able to do that when you got all those young guys out there. I guess you just don't have to do it all the time. Right, Kyron?
Yeah. Listen, the other guy that was on the team that was probably a close MVP was that Sion Howell.
Hey, Sion is a bad man.
Out there being nasty.
Hey, Bando. That's what they call him, Bando. Bando is the Mando. He goes out there, hits a windmill dunk in one of the games.
He attempted the through the legs dunk, didn't go down, but the fact that he tried, kudos to him.
He tried the in between the legs dunk, and then he tried what I call the career ender. He tried to dunk on about 4 or 5 people under the rim at the same time. I mean, he was down there with reckless abandon. It didn't go down. I'm telling you right now, if he would have dunked that basketball on those guys, I'd be wearing his jersey right now, probably with an autograph.
Yeah.
But, you can't talk about their championship run without talking about the big man.
Yeah, I mean, Marcus Ernst, right?
Yeah, Marcus Ernst is something special.
And by the way, I do believe he said he is going to be heading overseas to play ball in Europe. And maybe, did he say possibly Australia?
Yeah,
so
he's
Europe
got some
or
things
Australia,
opening up. Now, this guy is a standout over at Malone College, but he's not a name that you should have forgotten already because it wasn't too very long ago that he was over at Edgewood High School giving people the business out here.
You got a younger brother working on that right now, too.
Yeah. I call him Go-Go Gadget. Right. Listen, his arms go forever and ever. Jacob Ernst, we'll be talking about him in the football preview. But Marcus goes out there. He's a big man who can rebound. He's a big man who can dribble. He can shoot, and he can get to the rim. And there's one particular highlight you could see from the broadcast that we did where he sends a shot all the way over to create a millwork.
Right. You're talking about the big floater?
No. When he blocks the shot.
Oh, yeah. No, right. Yeah,
the guy had a good look at it, and he sent that thing with It was
vengeance. He was coming. He got blocked the play before. And
yes.
He came down and
down
let him have it. And then he throws up this random one-step floater about, I don't know, 15 feet above the rim, and it falls. It was amazing. Couldn't believe it.
The Bibby teardrop.
Right.
He throws out that Bibby teardrop. It was as beautiful.
But Bibby
as
was
I've seen.
5'11",
right?
There's a big difference with that. I think Ernst is 6'4", 6'5". I don't know.
No, Ernst is all of 6'7".
Okay, they're all taller than me. I know that, and he just comes out he reminded me of a short point guard just trying to float it up and just send it up there. It was an amazing shot. Couldn't believe it, but there's a lot of things that the young man does that you can't believe it happens.
Yeah, there's a young man by the last name of Cantor that has probably the dunk of the century in the shootout. That's one of the reasons I'm trying to get that high quality on, because he comes in one of the early matchups right through the lane. There's a couple guys from Steve's Car Care under the rim, and they get absolutely schmammered on. It was sick, disgusting. Now, you know what they say. It's too bad the dunk's only worth one, because they do end up losing that game anyway. He plays on a team with some familiar faces as well, in Bobby Ray, County Player of the Year, Dominic Parsons, who just graduated from Lakeside. There were some young guys out there. Savion Colbert was out there with a team. There's a lot of guys. And then, I would be remiss if I don't mention the return of Harvey's Morgan Lewis, coming back this year for the first time in years. Recently
he is retired.
Yeah, recently retired.
Yep.
Recently retired. He comes back. He had a 3-0 record, coming back to see if he can make it 4-0, but Simon's Law Firm lays the law down.
Yeah.
And they decide that's not going to happen this year, but Morgan Lewis went out there. I don't care what they say, whether he's 35, 36, that man is still an absolute hooper, folks. Absolute hooper. He can dribble, shoot, dunk with the best of them. They really had a nice team out there with them as well. They had guys like LaRue, Wells, who was a well-known dunker from this area. Theron Osborne, pretty great defender on that team. Rayshawn Jernigan was a problem.
Yeah. Well, like I said in that game, you're watching every game he played, he got a little bit better.
Yes.
And a little bit better. And a little bit better. A little bit better. He just, every single game he played, he just got a touch better. He's nasty underneath in the post. He was boxing guys out, getting the rebounds. He rebounded the ball off his own shot 3 or 4 times to get it to go back in.
Yeah,
but,
it was.
That like we talked about, the double rim is no joke.
There's only one guy that really hits some consecutive. Well, 2 guys. I'll take it back. Kyron, as we talked about earlier.
And what's his name from?
And Scola.
Scola, yep.
Scola goes out there and he went on a tear.
Bang, bang, bang.
Shot his team back into a game.
Yes,
Almost was able to steal a game that way. Like I said, if you guys go back and watch the footage, there's some great basketball that was happening that day. Unfortunately, there were a couple teams that flat out didn't get to see because we were covering one court instead of both. But we were covering the championship court, so I guess what it comes down to is, you got to earn your coverage, right?
Right. That was a winner's bracket court right there. I'm just bringing the images up again for everyone to check it out one more time. So, but you see, Marcus Durrance, MVP on the left, Simon's Law Firm, and again, that's going to be Marcus Durrance, Brandon Ford, Sion Howell, Ty Rude, Cody Blizzard, and Kyron Jones taking home the championship. And then the junior high guys, the bigger picture on the right-hand side is going to be Jamero Spikes Jr., Theron Osborne. That's junior, right? I would imagine.
No, it's just Theron.
Is it? Okay, sorry. Yep, Theron Osborne, Amari Osborne, Javon Peoples, and Malachi Vance taking it home for the junior high squad. It was fun. Maybe next year, though, hopefully me and Sam can get out there and cover the junior high teams. And to be honest with you, one thing we didn't even bring up is the
high school.
under 18.
Yep.
Listen, they had 16 teams, correct?
Yeah, that
16 teams of kids on 18 and under came out to play on Friday night.
Yeah, that high school tournament that actually happened on Friday during the day. Unfortunately, we didn't get it. We couldn't cover because we were working. But man, oh man, was that a big game. So, a hometown gentleman by the name of Rashad Wells brings his son here.
Yeah.
From Akron Bookdale. 6'7". He's between 6'7" and 6'9".
That's all?
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, he's just a small guy.
Listen, you get on my shoulders, he'll still be taller than
yes. But he came out and absolutely showed it. Some other guys, with Ashtabula ties coming back, Amari Osborne coming in from Columbus to get some time out here for this high school tournament. This high school tournament, I think, is something people are going to have to start paying attention to.
Yeah.
Because it's getting very competitive, and you're pulling in a lot of guys. And
they're only. Some of them are only a year away from having to play the 18 and older ones.
Absolutely.
I mean, we're talking about going 16 teams. The 18 and older squads, they had 10 of them. You're talking about maybe 2 squads next year, 10 going to 12.
Yeah,
the guys that are playing are coming back again. There's very few that are dropping off from, I guess, retiring from the Ashtabula holiday known as the Westside Shootout.
Last year, Brandon Ford, Division I playing basketball. Brandon Ford last year plays in this high school shootout. And it's just a great tournament. And with AAU ball, it's summertime. These kids just want to play some basketball. And how often do these kids really get to play outdoor hoops?
Never. I mean, it's Northeast Ohio. You only have about a 6-month span of being able to do it, and then that doesn't include rain and salt, whatever's on the court at that time.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great event. Want to send a huge shout out to the Cancells, to the Osbornes, for really. There's a ton of work, and as people, we throw events, so we know how much work goes into this, and we're still new to this game, so we learned very quickly how much goes into this. So they, a tip of the hat and appreciation is due to both of those families, because the sheer amount of time that is required for this to happen, and not for 1 year, not for 2 years or 3 years, 43 years. This is something that was run by legends like Dougie Miller for so long, and for the Osbornes to come in, have to, keep it going and add it and basically just get better and better every year. It's really something to be proud of, Ashtabula. This is an event that, let's be honest, it didn't always have a great reputation. I think people kind of looked at it as something it wasn't, by the way, because this is an event that I've been going to since I was 8 years old.
Right.
I can remember that was my favorite time of year. As soon as July 4th weekend hit, I knew I was going to, bug my mother to go get me some new sneakers. I had to get me a new short set, and I was going to head to the shootout to watch some great basketball. And to be able to see it return to that glory is just great, and we're really blessed to be able to cover it. And it's something I think we'll be there until they kick us out.
Yeah, I'm sure, but I don't know that they will. I mean, we live stream it at no cost.
Yeah, that's right.
The Osbornes, if you can let us know. I mean, no matter what, Mr. Mike and Bill Osborne, thank you guys again for introducing me into this. Especially, last year was the first year I got to help cover it and be part of it. I feel like I vaguely remember showing up in my Tommy outfit that I got.
Tommy Hilfiger.
It was a matching shorts and shirt, whatever it was. When I was a kid riding my bike down there and didn't really get into it, but it's really fun to get into and be a part of this event and see what these guys. They're basketball players. They play ball. That's what they do.
This is generational basketball. Yeah. That's what happens down there. You have dads and sons playing, and in some cases you're gonna have grandsons playing soon.
Right.
I mean, I'll tell you one who I'm pretty sure laced up again this year was James Pookie Hawley. Was out there playing again. Again. I don't know when he's retiring, because those sneakers, he's got the original Chucks.
Yes.
I mean, it's really something to be special. But you're starting to see some father sons go out there. Even during that junior high game, you had some brothers going against each other. That was fun. It's just a really great. I think it's a good thing for Ashtabula. It's something to hang your hat on, and something to be proud of.
I know they're MFG courts over there, but those are really well taken care of. So I'm assuming the Osborne family keeps up on it and all that.
They do.
It's a great job. It's a great area, plenty of parking, and then they bring food and everything else comes down there too. So next year,
the Cancells get
remember, it's July 4th weekend. It doesn't matter what day it actually falls on. It's the weekend of July 4th. And next year, I'm taking whatever that Friday is off, because we're going to go down there at 10 a.m.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think we're going to have to go full coverage on that one.
Cover all the high school students, too, because watching, 16 squads, we miss 16 squads. It's just what it is.
Yep, and you get to see, like I said, it's really great. these kids are appreciating it, and it's a way to kind of bring the generations together too, because these kids, they play on, some of the kids are playing on Thursday, and they definitely are watching the guys who are playing on Friday, and those guys who are playing on Friday, for even if it's just for competitive purposes, are watching the guys who play on Saturday.
Right.
It's really fun. The Cancels go out there. You want to talk about people who've been doing it forever too. Ralph Cancel, Carlos Cancel, still playing.
Yeah,
playing.
They just wrap more stuff around their knees, their elbows, and their ankles. That's it. Still rocking through it, baby.
I'll tell you what, I gotta give Ralph a little jab here, because I'll tell you what, man, he's playing a little bit less and a little bit less. He has become that. He's like a weapon.
Right.
That's it. He's like a secret weapon out there. You put him out there, he's going to get his shots off. And I think people underestimate him because he's a little bit older than us even. But he goes out there, you underestimate him. All the Cancels got to do is hit one. If they hit one shot, it's curtains.
Yes.
Whether it's Ralph Cancel, or don't forget, Sam can play too. He hasn't played in a couple years, but Sam can play too.
All right, folks. Coming up on deck, we are going to take a quick sponsored break here momentarily, but we're going to go into some softball. We got the Made in Ohio Minute, like always. We're going to talk about what's coming up on deck over the next month. As many of you guys know, football season is
on the way, baby.
It's on the way. It's knocking on the door, getting ready to rock and roll, hot to trot, ready to rock. I am messing with this to see how this works with a little bit of audio. Maybe it's super loud. We'll find out in a minute. But we are going to take a quick sponsored break and check out a few of 440 Goals treasured, amazing, wonderful sponsors. We'll be right back. Made in Ohio. Made in Ohio specializes in screen printing, dye sublimation, embroidery, and vinyl graphics. Their prices are the lowest in the area. They have no minimum order size, no setup charges, and no screen charges. Stop in and see for yourself. Made in Ohio is located in the beautiful, historic Ashtabula Harbor. Visit them at 1028 Bridge Street or call 440-992-9057. Play All Awards and Engraving. Awards, they do them all at Play All. Play All offers a full line of acrylics, desk accessories, plaques, sports awards, and more. A staple of Ashtabula County, Play All has been in service since 1993, helping the likes of educators, coaches, and individuals just like you. You can visit Play All at 4542 Main Avenue in beautiful downtown Ashtabula, Ohio, or call them at 440-992-7529 with any questions.
440 Goal welcomes in-combine sponsor from Allstate Kristen Dobbins-Beck-Barger. Kristen and her team offer auto, home, renters, and various other insurance policies. Visit Kristen at 4605 Main Avenue in beautiful Ashtabula, Ohio, or contact Kristen at 440-993-0256.
Are you a small business looking for a way to advertise locally? You have a problem? 440 Goal has a solution. Advertise with us. 440 Goal can create custom advertisements like you see here. What better platform than 440 Goal to advertise with? 440 Goal will be awarding a $500 football and $500 volleyball scholarship to a local senior this year. Getting in touch with 440 Goal is easy. You can reach us on Facebook and Instagram by simply messaging us. Or you can also email us at 440goal@gmail.com. Don't wait, spots are filling. Again, message 440 Goal on Facebook or Instagram, or email us at 440goal@gmail.com for all the details. All right, welcome back. This is Ryan, and if you're just tuning in, my name's Ryan. The voice of 440 Goal, Sam Torres, is hanging out with me tonight, like always. Never changes. I see him too much, but I just got to deal with it, I guess.
For 30 years, folks. For 30
There's
years.
no lie with that. There's no lie. All right, so on deck here, we are going to have Tyler King with the Made in Ohio Minute. Give us here 1 second. We're going to switch over to Tyler.
Hey, how's everybody doing out there? Ryan, Sammy, welcome back. You gentlemen been working hard or hardly working? I don't want to know the answer to that question. Just stopping in to tell everybody thanks for tuning in to the show. We are looking at the weekend of the 22nd, 23rd, and 24th of this month for the Wine and Walleye Festival down here on Bridge Street. It's a big weekend. You get to come check out some great locally sourced fish and few nice beers and a whole lot of different vendors up and down the street.
Hoo-ah!
Bang, bang.
Actually going to be the official merchandise supplier for Wine and Walleye Festival this year. So if you need some swag, come down and get it.
Any specialties, Tyler? Anything crazy?
We got some tricks up our sleeve and a few different prints going on.
But nothing just yet to show, right?
Nothing
All
just
right,
yet.
Just want to make sure.
We want to keep it a nice secret, but we'll be previewing some stuff on that show on the 20th there. So that'll work out quite nice. Also want to tell everybody at Softball City, thanks for working hard and having a good time out there. Keep pushing. Free smoke. High Tide, Made in Ohio sponsored teams. Appreciate you guys. Also, don't forget to check out our store at Geneva on the Lake. It's open 7 days a week. We're located on the strip right between Bob's Food Court and Sports Center Arcade. And with that, I really don't have anything else. It's nice to see you gentlemen back in the building. Back to you.
All right, that's going to be Tyler over there from Made in Ohio. So don't forget, they are the official Wine and Walleye T-shirt sponsor, not T-shirt, merchandise sponsors coming up here soon. And what the Wine and Walleye Festival is when again, Tyler? 22nd to the 24th. Great event down here on Bridge Street. I've been to it, I think, every year since it's come out, and it's a fun, exciting event.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say that you're going to be there again this year. So,
Correct.
Another reason, if you want to come down and tell 440 and goal, how great they are or how our takes are absolute garbage.
Right.
Come down to the Wine and Walleye because you're going to have your shot face to face.
Are we going live or something here?
We ain't going live, but we will.
You never know.
Because I don't know that we'll be in a good position to go live. We'll just put it that way.
Red Solo Cup. Anyways, all right. So moving in on deck here, I do believe we got softball standings right in schedule.
Yeah, we're going to move into the softball. Well, the standings have not moved. The last time we reported on softball,
2 weeks
it
ago,
was 2 weeks ago. That's the last time they played, right before the 4th of July, June 26th.
Right.
But they are getting right back at it. It's time for the rain-out games, Rye.
Right.
So coming up next on this Sunday, go ahead and pull it.
Field 1.
On Field 1 is going to be at 10 a.m. Diamond Hustle versus Free Smoke, Made in Ohio. Free Smoke Made in Ohio is actually the only one-loss team left in the co-ed league. That's right. Throwing that out there. Let's kick up the dust. At 11 a.m. is going to be Bumboat versus Free Smoke Made in Ohio. At 12 p.m. is going to be Harbor Tattoo versus Diamond Hustle. 1 p.m. is going to be the 2-loss D-Gents going against the 5-5 Bumboats. At 2 p.m., we're going to have AP Billing going against Harbor Tattoo. 3 p.m. is going to have D-Gents taking on the Main Street Mafia. And at 4 p.m., Main Street Mafia going to go against or square off against AP Billing at 4 p.m., and that's on Field 1. Ryan, who's going on Field 2?
Yeah, let's find out here. All right, so Field 1, Grand River Manor and versus Physical Culture at 10 a.m. High Tide Made in Ohio versus Physical Culture at 11 a.m. So Physical Culture going back-to-back there. Chambers Landscaping and JJ Residential. A little bit too long of a name to fit it all into that screen, so we had to shorten it up a little bit. But they're going to be taking on Grand River at 12 p.m. Yeah, every time I say that name, I just Ducks Fire Chicken versus High Tide Made in Ohio at 1 p.m. SAK Construction taking on Chambers Landscaping at 2 p.m. over on Field 2. And to finish out the day over on Field 2 is going to be SAK Construction versus Ducks Fire Chicken at 3 p.m. So good luck to all those teams. Hopefully next week, we'll get into that. Next week we're not going to have, let me bring it back over here. Next week we're not going to have a show. I'm going to be on vacation like I had said at the beginning. So Sammy's got some other stuff lined up that's going to be exciting and fun. I'm going to let him announce that here in a couple minutes. I think we're going into that next. But
Yeah, you know what? Let's just go ahead and go into it now.
Knock it down, yeah.
Yeah, so next week, again, Ryan not going to be here, so we're not going to do a live show next week, but what we are going to have is nightly content. So starting on Monday at 7:30 p.m., and we will be sharing the preview for it after tonight's show. It is going to be a documentary on Edgewood High School's Elijah Cooper. This is a documentary that has been put together by Larry Jennings, and just an absolute phenomenal. It's beautifully shot. Cinematography is great, and it's a great story. It's something you're going to get to see, learn a lot about not only the coach but the area, and what it's like for somebody who grew up like he did here.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I don't want no spoiler, but it was fun. That was the best part about watching. What I've seen. And just seeing how he grew up and taking on the challenges that he had, the adversity that he went through, and getting to the point that he's at now. A bachelor, or I think
he is a master's
degree in teaching or education.
Yes, master's degree in education. Head coach of the Edgewood
High School,
football team,
Warriors football team, and just a standout person in Ashtabula County, and that is Elijah Cooper himself.
Yeah, a husband, a father, right. A local leader, and you're gonna get a chance to kind of look through the window and see kind of what it is and how he became the man he is, and it's really just it's a compelling story. Yeah. That's how I would describe it. But starting on Monday at 7:30. This is something we're going to have a live watch every day.
Series.
Yep, 5-part series, Monday through Friday. And we are going to have Elijah on to talk about it and have some question and answers and stuff yet. Soon, but I'm not sure which day we're going to do that. That's something you're going to have to pay attention to in the future. But starting on Monday, like I said, we'll release the preview today.
Right.
Go ahead and let everybody know that that's what we're going to be doing. It's going to be I think it's really a well-shot documentary, and I think it's something that Ashtabula, whether you are a sports fan or not, is something you can enjoy.
Yeah. It's just, where he came from to where he's at now. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, and I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot to take in. So,
and like Sammy said, hopefully the goal is next week to have Coop on as a live interview for part of the show to kind of do a Q&A, and just talk to him. And then, but we got to get that one set up and nipped in the bud where it needs to go, and then we'll go from there. But so don't forget, tune in next week, starting at 7:30 on Monday. It's going to be the 5-part series beginning. So part 1 of 5 will be launched on Monday. Then obviously part 5 of 5 will end on Friday. So
yeah, and this is just going to be a live event right there on Facebook. So It's something that once 7:30 hits on Monday, it's going to run. Same thing on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday.
Yep.
So, just set your phones. We'll have an event created. That way, it'll give you kind of an idea and an alarm, if you will.
Notification. Yep.
Yeah. To let you know to get in there, and it's something I think that's going to be very cool and very valuable to everybody.
Yes. Yep. All right. So coming in. So. Next week, we're going to talk. So not next week, in 2 weeks from now.
Yeah. So
2 weeks from now, we're going to start with. As we've done every year since the beginning of 440 and Cole, we're going to start doing a preseason all-county teams, putting that together.
That's right. So get your junk talking started now, because in 2 weeks, we are going to be laying out Ashtabula's preseason all-county teams per 440 and goal.
Yep.
So for those of you who don't know how that goes, that means we're going to pick a preseason quarterback, running back, first team. There'll be a first team, no second team. This is a first team only because it's a preseason team.
No second team. I'm sorry.
There will be no second team. So we're going to have a preseason all-county quarterback, running back, wide receiver, offensive lineman. We'll have defensive linemen, linebackers, defensive backs. Unfortunately, we're probably not going to have too many kickers because that's one of those positions that is still being figured out for most of these teams, but you never know. But what I do know is we will have our preseason team out here, and it'll be very interesting to see who lands on that list, as in the next couple weeks we are going to be out and about checking out practices, talking to coaches, and don't forget, we've got some stuff to pull from last year.
Yeah, a lot of stuff to check out from last year. Obviously seniors are gone, but juniors are rolling through, so it's going to be a lot of fun to get that preseason team launched out there. And don't forget, it is going to be eventually time, probably about 3 weeks, we're going to do the fantasy football draft as well. Well, not draft, but pick 'em up games.
That's right. And fantasy football is going to be different this year.
We've changed a few things up, so stay tuned for that for the release. But yeah, rolling right into it, the 4-4-0 and goal on 4. We're going to get into a couple questions, a couple Q&A, and just kind of see where it takes us to. Obviously, tonight's been a little bit of a short night, but hopefully this one gets us rolling. You're going to see a number come up on the screen right now. There it is. And then we're going to start with the first question. That number's going to keep rolling through. Again, with these questions, anyone that's tuned in, you are welcome to call in. Voice your opinion.
Yeah, you can talk about
Tell us what you say about it.
You can talk about the questions that we're talking about right now, preferably. Or if you want, you can bring up something that we've talked about in the past few weeks. The only thing we have to ask, 2 things actually we need to ask. Number 1, keep it clean. Number 2, make sure it's about Ashtabula County sports. We love the national sports as much as the rest of everybody else, but Baker Mayfield gets talked about enough. So that's why we're doing our best to talk about our kids right here in Ashtabula.
Right. All right, sorry, I just had to make a quick adjustment. All right, so coming up, so if anyone's first time tuning in, first time listening to us, we do every week. It's usually 4 questions, but we've been a little bit limited, a little bit shorthanded, a little bit busy.
Yeah, there's some holidays, in there and all that good stuff.
Week before last was 2 questions. This week's 2 questions. Again, 440-299-7697 is the number to call if you want to chime in. So Sammy, and I'm sorry, real quick, I asked the question. Sammy answers it. If I like it, I just kind of roll with it. But if I don't, I give my opinion and rock with them too. So first question on deck here. Okay. Let me just move it up here a little bit. And, of course, Sammy hit me last minute with a lot of this stuff. So,
that's the way she goes, baby.
Yeah, we're going to move that now, too, so they can see it a little
there it is. Yep. Boy.
Right, all right. So
check it out.
Question 1, does 7-on-7 accurately measure a quarterback? And so me and Sammy have been going back and forth. This is pretty much year 2 with this question.
Yes.
He already knows. Well, he knows how I feel about 7-on-7s and
his
what
number
they
in
do.
high school was 63.
Right.
So just so you know that.
Yes. Again, 440-299-7697 to call in. If you guys have, if you want to, well, we're gonna go into Sammy, but if you guys have what you think is a good answer to it, let us know. If you don't like our answers, let us know too. Just keep it kosher. No swearing, none of that. So. All right, so the question, does 7-on-7s accurately measure a quarterback, Sammy?
Yeah, so does a 7-on-7 accurately measure a quarterback as to his talent, as to his ability? Hold on, I'm going to push this out there so all the Facebook world knows what we're doing.
And again, tonight, actually, we have attempted to live stream to Instagram. Some of you guys may be on there, but we're on YouTube, Instagram, Twitch, and Facebook.
Yeah, and TikTok. No, not TikTok yet. That's coming.
Yet. That's coming.
Measure a QB. Call. Sorry, folks. All right. So does 7-on-7 accurately measure a quarterback? As to his talent, as to his ability, I believe it does, and here's why. The number one takeaway from 7-on-7s is always, well, there's no defensive lineman in there. There are no, he's not getting blitzed. He's not, there's no pressure to the situation. And while that is true, absolutely true, and I'm not underrating that portion of the football game, what I can tell you is, yes, it is an accurate measurement and an accurate description of that quarterback's ability to make the throw, to place the ball, and in some cases throw a wide receiver open, to understand how to break down the defensive backfield, because quarterbacks aren't looking off a defensive tackle. They're not looking off a defensive end. They have to look off the safety. They have to look off the linebackers, and those are all the guys that they're going to be going against in this 7-on-7. And it takes the offensive line out of the equation, which sometimes to get an accurate look at what your quarterback is, and we've seen this with high school teams. There's some great quarterbacks in high school, even around here, that you don't know if they're good or not because they get sacked within 2 seconds of the snap.
Right.
So I think 7-on-7 is a great way to measure whether your quarterback has the ability to be your starter. I don't think it can be the end-all, be-all, but yes, I do think it's an accurate way to measure a quarterback.
440-299-7697 if you guys want to chime in and answer this. So maybe we should have adjusted the question a little bit, though. I mean, because – so I guess there's a lot of different variables on how you can measure a quarterback. I mean, just by his throwing strength. 7-on-7 allows maybe to throw on the run to really see what he has without the pressure in his face.
Sure.
7-on-7 allows him to, read the D-backs. But I don't think let's go this way. I don't think you can accurately say that's my starting quarterback out of a 7-on-7.
And that's where I disagree with you. I think you can.
I don't think you can. Because and you actually said it yourself, the pressure that comes from yes, I am biased to offensive line and defensive line. The pressure that comes from an offensive line is really going to dictate how a quarterback reacts, and that's what I would say most measurables that our coaches are really looking for. Whether a quarterback obviously in a 7-on-7 you can't tuck and run. You're not doing that.
Right.
I think it's a 3-second, three Mississippi, it's a sack.
Yeah, they count it out. It's something that's predetermined with the coaches before.
Right. So, whatever it may be, but, that pressure of tucking and run and making decisions on the fly. No matter what, with a 7-on-7 drill, you're pretty confident whether it's a spread set, whether it's a trips to the left, trips right. There's no tight ends. There might be a tight end.
No, they have tight ends. You run your skills.
Right, so it's a skill player. But, as long as you're, if you've been playing the game, I guess more than anything it's going to measure, his knowledge of the game.
Yes.
At that point in time. But I don't think it would ever come down to where you're going to pick your quarterback as a starter off of a 7-on-7 drill. I think practice and scrimmages. There's no scrimmage. Is there scrimmages?
So there is scrimmages.
I think scrimmages are going to be what you really determine on, especially when you're in a close QB hunt.
So you're talking scrimmages. They get like one scrimmage a year,
right? Like
one full pads scrimmage, and it's late in the year. It's usually like right before week 1. All right, but what's a more accurate way of figuring out your quarterback? Is it through 7-on-7 competitive against another school, or is it when you're going full contact against a JV defense? Or in some cases, if your team is big enough and you've got enough athletes, even if it's against your own varsity offense or defense,
right?
Is that the more accurate way to? I don't think so.
I would say so, yeah.
Especially,
don't get me wrong. The quarterback's going to wear the red cap. You're not allowed to touch him.
Right.
So he still has that going for him. But
defense knows the plays.
They don't know. Why would they know the play?
Because they play on
running both ways. Yes.
They know the playbook.
I can tell you, no strict defensive lineman knows the offensive playbook.
Defensive linemen don't, but the linebackers, the corners
potentially
do.
Right. Yeah, they should.
These are the guys. I would argue that linebackers and defensive backs are going to make a bigger difference in the passing game than anybody on the defensive end.
440
or on the defensive line. And listen, I understand and I respect the defensive line and the ability that they have to change the passing game and how often it really happens in this region of the state. All right. I get that, but when you have a defensive end who is able to get into the backfield every single play, they stand out, and not every team has that. But if you have a corner that can't cover anything, if you have a wide receiver that can't catch a cold, if you have a quarterback that looks like end over end punts at wide receivers. It doesn't matter what the offense or the defensive line is doing. Your quarterback, you have to see what he's going to do against these defensive backs and these safeties. And those safeties and those defensive backs, and more so than any other positions, linebackers get hidden because of the defensive ends and stuff. You can hide that stuff. When you're in a 7-on-7,
but that's
you can't. Those linebackers who traditionally in this area can't cover the pass. I mean, that's just a fact.
Right.
You get concrete hips, guys that don't cover anything but the regular flats. That's what the linebackers do. And in 7-on-7, they get exposed.
440-299-7697. Call in. The question is, does 7-on-7 accurately measure a quarterback? I'm still going to go back to what I said. I don't think you could determine your starting quarterback off of 7-on-7 drills. Now, maybe I guess if you ran 6, 7, 8 of them and just how successful he was at that point in time, but to accurately say this is my starting quarterback off of the 7-on-7 drill, unless he's already put the time in, then I don't believe that's what it's going to be.
If you have to choose, so you're only going to get to do one thing. You can either go against your JV defense or you can get 7-on-7s versus other teams. And you got to determine your quarterback. Which one are you going to choose?
That's tough. That's tough, man. The contact, full contact, even against JV, I think you're going to read it out. You're going to get a better idea of what your quarterback's going to have.
I disagree. I think you got to go. It's the competition. So your quarterbacks.
Well, the
and
biggest
your
the
team
biggest
looks
reason
great
I even say that because in this day and age here, you have to. You're almost an option quarterback sometimes. A lot of schools are running an RPO with options for that quarterback.
Not everybody.
Not everybody. No, I'm not saying everybody, but I can guarantee you, there's probably
Lakeside last year had a pure passer.
They did. But
they were run heavy.
They didn't have a lot of success in that playoff game. But what did they change it up to during that playoff game?
Well, he did some running. He did a little bit. He did a little bit of running, but nothing. He was by no means would I call him mobile. No. And he's the complete opposite. That's a great point. You bring up Grant Hitchcock, and
right.
Grant Hitchcock goes from being, as a sophomore, almost exclusively a run guy that would surprise you with a pass.
Yep.
And then he goes out there and develops his passing game. And you know where his passing game got developed? 7-on-7.
I don't know, man. I don't. I mean, I'm sure it's all a big ball of wax in the end. You know what I mean? You all put it together, 7-on-7. Even, the training that they do before the season starts, the voluntary stuff.
Sure, that all matters too.
Coming through it and all that stuff. But in the end, I don't know. That I would say 11-on-11, full contact. And hey, if there's a coach out there, call in. Tell me I'm wrong. But I just don't think I am. I think full contact, even if it's against JV, is going to give you a better idea of what's happening and why it's happening.
I think there are, let me count in my head, at least 4 coaches that would agree with you. Because they're
I'll take 500. I'll take 500.
I think there's at least 4 coaches that agree with you, because I know there's a couple coaches out there I can think off the top of my head that almost had the Woody Hayes passing idea where only 3 things happen and only one of them's good.
440-299-7697. So obviously, as we end this question, Sam and I still completely disagree with each other.
And we will all year.
Right, and we will all year with this. But we will get brought up again with a few other topics, but I don't agree with them. To a point I do, but I still think there's a little bit more, and a little bit more goes into scrimmaging and reading routes with people in your face versus having, I mean, the only thing that's there is somebody on a knee, tossing the ball back like, shotgun or under center. That's it.
I will tell you this. One of the things that neither 7-on-7 nor scrimmage replace, there's no way to get anybody ready for the first time that whistle blows on a Friday night.
Right.
It doesn't matter if you do 15 7-on-7s or 25 scrimmages. The first Friday you go out there, if it's the first time you're ever out there, that's really where you're going to show if you're ready or not.
Right. Yep. Yeah, how far along you are. So, all right, so the next question, might as well rock right into that. So question number 2. All right, so obviously we're on the 7-on-7 kick. Let me make a quick adjustment to this, so just to make it a little bit thicker, and it is bold.
That's misspelled too.
Is it? What did I? Oh, we already went over that.
Yeah.
Is that better?
Yeah, that's better.
Yeah.
Accurate telly.
Yeah, well, you know what? I'm not the greatest at it, so hold on one second. We're getting ready to go into it. I just want to change this thing's location. That way it's a little bit bigger. Sorry, guys.
Anyway, so,
right,
yeah.
So I'm just about there. It's all right. Just relax. There's my button. Okay, so going into question number 2. Again, if you guys see the number up on top of the screen, 440-299-7697, if you're just tuning in, this is a little bit of a segment of the show where I ask Sammy a question, and we talk about it a little bit. Most of the time we disagree. That's why we come up with these questions. It makes it seem like we're mad at each other. Usually that drives in viewership. But 440-299-7697 if you want to call in and chime in on either one of these 2 questions. So second question for you, Sam. Does 7-on-7 accurately measure defensive backs and linebackers? So we stayed right with the 7-on-7 topic. And I feel like I already know what you're going to say, and I feel like I'm already going to disagree with you. But here we go.
All right, so listen. For defensive backs, 7-on-7 is the gold standard, and it's going to show you exactly what their ability to play that position is. And I say this because if you're relying on your defensive backs to make tackles, then your defense is bad. So they are the third and the fourth result. You know, that's where you shouldn't be getting to defensive backs to make tackles. Right. They should have the ability, but it's not something that should be happening with regularity. And if it is, then your defensive coordinator is pooping the bed. Linebackers. I believe this drill. I believe 7-on-7 is more important. And it is a better separator than any other drill in football. And here's why. Linebackers already can tackle. They can cover the run. They know the gaps. That's what they've done since they were in the YFL.
Right.
All right. You get your stocky kids with no neck. You throw them in the middle. You block up the middle. You get the guys who are a little bit too slow to be a corner, and can tackle fairly well. You throw them on the outsides. You know, maybe not big enough to be a defensive end, but not quite small enough to be a defensive back. There's your outside linebacker. And they tackle. That's what they do. They've learned to tackle. That's all they've ever done. The one thing they don't do out here, and they haven't done for 30, 40 years, linebackers don't cover the pass well. They don't.
Right.
And when you go against teams that spread thin and they're, you know, unless you're running a nickel or, you know what I mean, or like a 4-2-5, or which, I mean, how many schools out here are running that?
Right.
You know what I mean? You got coaches that are having to – what ends up happening is you have coaches that are trying to play a third and fourth string defensive back to cover.
Yeah, because they don't have enough fast guys on the field.
Right, because their outside linebacker can't cover anybody outside of a slow tight end. And we're not going to talk about how much trouble an elite tight end is out here.
Yeah.
Because if you have a tight end that is a big guy that can run a route and catch, oh, my God, you might score 50.
Yeah, man, it's possible. So, I mean, I'm going to go right into it. And actually, this is one I'm going to agree with you. You know, that the one-on-one, whether you're running man or zone on defensive back or linebacker, that one-on-one coverage is going to really assess where they are in coverage. I don't think so. Linebacker stopping the run, obviously, a 7-on-7 drill is going to do absolutely nothing for them to find out how good they are at reading the gaps and reading the play, getting over top of defensive lineman's head to find out where the ball is going. Just simple stuff like that. But assessing what a linebacker can do. Safety, defensive back, cornerback, whatever position you may play, the hybrid position, I don't even know what they call it now. Nickel. Is that what it is? I don't know.
That's like your strong safety type of deal, yeah.
You know, but the hybrid position. But one thing I do want to bring up, though, is, you know, the linebacker position is, so I agree. I agree with you. I agree. You're right. It's a gold standard. It's the best way to just find out who needs work, where somebody's at, who's where we need them to be, and, you know, who is really above and beyond. You'll find that out really quickly, regardless whether you're first. I mean, obviously, if you're first string, it's because you're where you need to be. But you can at least where you can improve at. But if you're second, third string,
I mean, there's a reason why you can slant people to death.
Right. And that's I mean, that has a lot to do with the linebacker position, right? But in this era that we play in, I mean, it is no longer 20% pass, 80% run. It is no longer 10% pass, 90% run.
No, it is quite the opposite.
It is. I won't go. I might go 60-40 pass. Or I'm sorry. It's probably closer to 50-50, especially with the RPO situation that we're in now, where a lot of schools are kind of based off of who they have playing is going to dictate whether or not they run that RPO that much. So, and another big thing is coaches. I find all coaches have their own system. They do. But what I'm noticing is a lot of coaches are adapting to their kids.
Which you absolutely have to. You know, I think one of the shining examples of that is let's talk about Rocco Dobrin out in Conneaut.
Right.
The first year we start covering this, he's got a kid by the name of Jake Slayton who can absolutely just throw the football all over the place.
Wherever you want
I mean, the kid throws for like 1,500 yards. You know, they've got receivers. They had Rylan Anderson before him.
Right.
You know what I mean? And except he could run.
Yep.
He was a big time runner. So they go really pass heavy for a year, and then last year, you know, you got Zach.
Right.
Yeah. You know, Zach.
Quiet Ryan.
I'm telling you, he's one of the best running backs in the county. Like he has been. Not only is he one of the best running backs in the county this year, he's been one of the best running backs in the county for about 3 years.
Right. Hint, hint. Is probably going to be on that first team.
You're probably going to see Rice on there.
Yeah,
I mean, he's a stud. Yeah. The kid's a stud. There's no other way to put it.
The way he goes up and down the field.
You know, and I say that to say, you look last year, you look at their team last year, and they went a lot more run heavy than they were passes last year. And then, you know, you take a team like Jefferson. Grant Hitchcock goes out there. The first year we're covering them, it's a lot of option. It's a lot of Danny Bruckman. It's a lot of run.
Heavy run.
And you know, Coach Hanna is on the staff at that time, helping with play calls. So it's not like there was a complete difference in the play calling philosophy. You know what I mean? No, they were doing with what they got. So then they go into last year, and Grant shows, hey, I can pass the ball. And then not only does he learn to pass the ball, then you've got guys who emerge like Trent Hodge, who become elite-level receivers in this county.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So like you said, you're taking the guys. You're taking the guys you have, and you're making the most out of them. You know?
Yeah, no, I mean, but that's what, you know, differs. I mean, and honest to goodness, anyone – I hate to say it this way, but I believe anyone can really not anyone can coach the game, but anyone can be a coach, right? Anyone can be. To be a true coach is finding the little things, the unique things within the kid that makes your entire team better and pulling it out of them.
Anybody can call a play.
Right. That's the best way. Anyone can call a play. Anyone can read. Anyone can read a clipboard with whatever they got.
We've all had a controller in our hand.
But the best coaches in our area, the ones that are the best, are able to find the unique circumstances within the kid.
Yes.
And I mean, the best example I can give is the Hannah situation. To be honest with you,
I would go out on a limb and say that I think a high school football coach, has to coach much harder and much better than any college and definitely any NFL team
to be successful. Correct. Yeah.
I mean, you are just dealing with what you got. And you have to figure out a way to make that work. I mean, you look at Lakeside. Lakeside had like 26 running backs last year, I think.
Yeah, right. Maybe, yeah.
I mean, like you could if you threw a rock, you hit a 1,000-yard rusher last year. But you know the beautiful thing about high school, they graduated.
Right.
So now I'm super interested this year to see are they going to become a passing team again? Are they going to be a running team? What are they going to do this year?
Where are they going to take this to this year?
Yeah, what do you do then?
I mean, that's another – we'll get into all that because obviously in the next coming weeks, so everyone knows, we're going to start breaking down, you know, one team.
Each team,
Each team, 2 teams over the course of 4 weeks and really having fun with it. You know, Lakeside's got a QB battle going on over there in my opinion. I don't know for sure that it is. No one's said that it's not.
Yeah, we're going to find out soon.
I can tell you, the kid that was 6'5", you know, Siebenek, he is not there anymore.
And that's a big loss.
Question marks over there at Lakeside. So that is going to be one topic we're really going to get into.
It's hard to replace 6'5" with a shotgun on his shoulder.
Yeah, it really is. And we're not even talking about the 3 years of playing.
Yeah,
the ups and downs that he went through and the adversity.
Yep,
it was just the year before.
They've got an interesting situation. Geneva, a new head coach over there.
Olajuwon, I know he was interim last year, but he finally gets to install his offense and
new
defense,
staff
whatever. Whole new staff coming in. Hannah's on his second year, and you know, I've told him I'm really excited to see what Hannah does with those young men.
Expectations are high. There's no ifs, ands, or buts.
You know, Clint Nims having a tough year last year, a tough couple.
Yeah, where do they go from?
Where do they go? Yeah, it's just these are the tough questions that we're going to try to answer.
PV makes
PV finds a way to every year. I don't know what it is. PV has a way of getting the 5, 6, 7 wins, and we talked about this. They find a way to get those wins year after year, at least over the last two years.
Ryan Croston got to take some lumps last year that are going to make
Guess who's going to get better?
Bingo.
Yeah.
He's going to be a better quarterback because of it.
You know, St. John.
Whole new system this year.
I mean, there's a lot of variables that are going to go on in Ashtabula County football. I hope we didn't miss anyone. Did we talk about everyone there briefly? Did I miss?
Started with Conneaut. Talked about Geneva, the new head coaching position.
Yep.
Lakeside, Jefferson, Conneaut, or I say Conneaut already. Grand Valley, PV, Edgewood,
St. John.
And St. John.
We got everybody. Yeah, so, I mean, you guys, stay tuned. I mean, we got a lot of things playing this year. You can still call in if you want to, 440-299-7697.
Yeah, who do you think's going to have a big year this year?
Yeah, that's a great question.
That out there right now.
That might be a poll we need to have put out on Facebook.
Yeah, I might throw this on the fly this year.
Right.
I think
who's going to have the turnaround year. Honest to goodness, St. John's 0-10. You know, they're installing a new system. I'm very excited. I think it's a great idea.
St. John officially part of the NAC this year as well.
Yep, they're playing for a banner. At bare minimum, no playoffs, but you still play for a banner, or not no playoffs. But if you don't make the playoffs, you still play for a banner. But that's another big thing. You get into, and we could go on and on about this all night if we wanted to. But
I think 3 teams are going to make the playoffs from Ashtabula this year. I think we've got 3 teams that are going to make the playoffs this year.
Right, maybe that's another good poll.
I think 3 teams are going to make the playoffs this year. I think my early.
Who's your lock? Who's the lock?
Who's the lock?
Who's
for
the
playoffs
lock
this year?
for the playoffs this year? And mind you, every one of you, we've been doing this for 3 years. We talk about it, all that fun stuff. But mind you, playoffs this year, you win your conference,
you're in.
You're in. You can go 5-5 and be in the playoffs. This is not what it was 2 decades ago, a decade ago. Top 16 teams in each region walk into the playoffs.
My lock this year's PV.
I got to co-sign with that, but I don't want to dive too much into that because I feel like we're taking away from the next show.
It's fine. Hey, listen, that's my lock, and I'm going to tell you what. I'm going to give you a preview on this because it's not part of the next show. I think there are 2 guys right now. I think there are 2 guys in the running for Player of the Year. I think there are 2 guys in the running for Player of the Year, and the best 2 guys in the county right now, if you're talking to me right now, your 2 running guys for Player of the Year are Jefferson's Grant Hitchcock and Conneaut's Zach Rice.
I agree.
That's the foot race.
Yeah, that's the foot
race.
It will be. And we talked about this last year, how exciting this year was going to be. Not saying anything against last year, but this year there was a lot of juniors from last year that had great games.
Yes.
Great seasons that really did good. I mean, Hitchcock went 1,000 for 1,000.
Yep.
In his junior year. Yep. I mean, he put 1,000 on the ground, 1,000 in the air. I mean, I don't know what else you can ask of the kid. I don't know how he can get better. I mean, obviously duplicating it's probably going to help his reasoning for Player of the Year. But
who's going to benefit from the best offensive line in the county?
Right.
Because Lakeside right now has got the best offensive line in the county.
Right. Yep.
I mean, who's going to benefit over there? Who's gonna make their name this year?
Yep. It's going to be right.
I
don't know.
Like that's what I'm looking for. There are some real. I'll tell you what. This year we played the schedule game between us, and I don't know what we're gonna release those results. Yeah, those results because we don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. But I will give you this. I think that the Battle of the Bridge this year is going to determine which of those 2 teams is 500 and which of those 2 teams is getting into the playoffs. I think both of those teams are going to be going in with 4-5 records. Going into Week 10, I think that's what you're looking at.
4 own goals. First ever Player of the Year.
That's
award.
right, Charlie Taylor.
Charlie Taylor comes in. No one should sleep on Jefferson.
Absolutely not.
You are not wrong.
Jefferson has the prop. So here's where Jefferson's going to have to go over the top. And this, I'll jump right into this because we played the schedule game with them, and they very well could do this. Jefferson, it's not close, has the hardest schedule in the county.
Across the board.
It's stupid the amount of 8-win teams that they have to play.
Yeah.
Between Poland and Hubbard and South Range. They're not playing Kirtland this year, thank God.
Moved, right?
Yeah. Poland, Hubbard, and South Range, who is the Youngstown version of Kirtland.
Yes.
They got to play all 3 of those guys, and those are just the top level ones. Niles is an over 500 team every year. Girard is much. I hope they're home against Jefferson this year because if they are, we got to get there because I want to see Jefferson beat them. Yep. All right. They've got a shot at the playoffs, but there's a hill and then there's a hill.
There's a mountain.
yeah, and that's what they're up against. Now they've got the talent.
Right. Well, I mean, that's what I mean. I think Hannah instills it. You got to play up to you got to play up to the kid you're playing against.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. That schedule is ridiculous. If it was any other year, they'd be my lock.
Yeah.
They would be my lock. They are loaded out there. They are absolutely loaded. And I'll tell you what, cannot wait till next year when that CVC Lake Division becomes a thing and you're looking at Madison, Conneaut, Geneva, Lakeside, Edgewood, and Jefferson.
Yep.
There's your CVC Lake Division. Yep. There is your NEC basically
dog
coming
fight.
back in.
You know what the biggest problem with that's going to be, right?
Are you talking about the divisions?
It's gonna a lot of points are gonna be lost within the county.
Yes.
Going through a
Oh
playoffs,
yeah, because they're going through each other.
Right.
We're gonna, but that's how it is. That's what happens in Youngstown.
Right.
That's what goes on in the NE8. They have teams that if they played in a different conference would be in the playoffs every year, including Niles McKinley,
Correct.
including Girard is a good team too. But that's what you got to do to get better. That's how you get teams like a South Range eventually that's going to come up. You know what I mean? It'll be interesting to see who's going to eat. I'll tell you what, that we said it before on the show before, that that conference does not benefit Lakeside, and neither does the division realignments either.
Right.
The fact that they bumped Jefferson down, bumped a couple teams up. Lakeside unfortunately draws the short straw, and they're going to be the only Division II team in there because Madison, somehow shimmied their way into Division III.
Right, yep.
But it doesn't matter. Ultimately what it comes, if Lakeside
Not
wins
somehow, I mean, statistically they have to have the numbers.
Listen,
Come on.
I'll leave it. I'll leave that up to
Right,
you. I'm just saying.
Right.
I don't know that they have less kids in Lakeside, but anyway, I will say this. I mean, the good thing about it is with 16 getting in, it doesn't matter as long as you win your division, whether you're Division II or Division VI, you're in.
Right.
So is it going to be harder to host a game? Absolutely. But, if you want to host a game, just don't lose any. That's all.
The
It's
best
real
spot
easy,
to
baby.
be is in Division I, Region 1.
Yeah, you're in.
You're
just
in.
show up.
Yep, 17 teams in that, but that's a whole nother pile of you know what. But all right, so don't forget this week coming up, starting on Monday night, starting at 7:30. Look for the live stream broadcast of the Olajuwon Cooper saga.
Absolutely,
documentary featuring head coach of the Edgewood Warriors, Olajuwon Cooper, starting at 7:30 Monday. It's a 5-part series, so running Monday through Friday, 7:30 every single night. And I do believe then it will be released on YouTube and Facebook for
after we get
right.
after it
so
releases
if you can't,
live.
if you miss it on Tuesday, you could come back and check it out on YouTube.
It's appointment viewing. Don't miss it.
Right. Yeah. And then following next week after that, we are going to try to get Olajuwon on live with us, have a little interview, a little Q&A session with him, have a little fun with it. That one though is remains up in the air to be determined. We got to get a hold of him, talk to him a little bit. I know somebody knows his number though.
Yeah.
And then after that, we're going to start rolling right into football season. Hot and heavy, like I said, we're going to start.
Yeah, next week we will start our team. So for the next 4 weeks, or not next week, I'm sorry. Starting on July 20th, every Wednesday we'll be doing a show here at Maiden, Ohio. Every Wednesday we will preview 2 Ashtabula County teams as to who are you looking for to be a big player for them? What is their schedule going to be this year? What's their likelihood of making the playoffs? What do they have to do to make the playoffs? It'll be a full playoff and a full overlook on each team.
Yeah.
We'll be picking 2 teams per week all the way up until August 17th, which is kickoff, baby.
Right. Yep. We're just so everyone knows, they can mark it in the book if they want to. But August 17th is going to be. So I don't.
We're going to be here.
Here? Or,
yeah,
I'm sorry.
we're going to be here. We don't know the schedule yet.
Oh,
remember?
we don't know. Oh,
no,
all right.
because remember that changed.
Okay, gotcha. All right. Well, with that being said, excuse me. That's all I got for the evening. We can continue on for hours, so I'm not going to let you do
Listen,
it.
Listen, I can talk about high school football for hours and hours, like the song says.
Thanks everyone for tuning in. Don't forget at Facebook, like and is it subscribe?
Like,
now?
Subscribe, follow, notify, hit the bell.
Whatever it is, make it so you know who we are. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube.
The fact that we don't have
1,000,
the fact that we don't have 1,000 YouTube subscribers is probably the most disappointing thing on earth right now. Yes. So help us out.
Right, help us out. Help us. How would that? You
help us.
Help you. Yeah, right. Help us. Help. I know that's what it is, but that really ain't it. But all right. With that being said, we are gonna get the heck out of here. I gotta try this real quick so I can see what it sounds like at the end. Put a little music on. My name is Ryan, and this again is my partner Sam Torres, the voice of 4401 Goal. Thanks again, everyone, for tuning in this evening. We will see you next week.
2 Wednesdays Wednesday the 20th. Love, peace, and chicken grease, y'all.
Thanks, guys.